Here.
No, I'm not a writer.
Okay.
And good morning. This is Mike Lodge. I am the business advisor, and I'm glad that you're with me this morning. Here in South Carolina, I'm looking out my window. It's a beautiful day. I mean, it is one of those days. I don't see a cloud up there in the sky at all. I see the squirrels out there trampsing all over my flowers. I mean, literally, on Sunday, I planted them all upright. And the squirrels have been playing in them, and so now they're leaning forward. I tell you just can't win with these wild animals out there. And also with Mother Nature. Mother Nature is just different this year. But you know what? It's good to get up in the morning, right? And start our days. Listen, one of the things that has been bothering me lately is our relationship with Ukraine. This relationship with this country has been a very stressful one. It has been a very corrupt country. It has paid off millions and millions of dollars to politicians in the United States and probably around the world, but especially the United States. We have Biden's family connected to them, and that's where all of this money laundering suspected money laundering started from. And Ukraine has never been an honest country. So Biden and Lindsey Graham and some of these other politicians here in the United States, which I call warmongers. I truly do, because they have been pushing this war with Ukraine for so long. And over the past 2 years now, we have literally shoved billions of dollars into that country. We don't know how it's being used. We don't know where it's gone to. We don't know what they're doing with the money. And then we have a lot of equipment that we have sent to that country from the inventory of our own military. So it has downgraded the response of our military because we don't have some of this equipment there anymore. So we have to go out and buy a new one. But it's, to me, the most fraudulent thing about this whole thing is the money. Billions have poured into that country, and yet we have no idea how they're spending it. We have no idea where it's going to. We do not even know if it's getting down to the people of Ukraine. We have no audit system in place when we give money to these countries. And we give a lot of money to countries that we should never be giving money to at all. When we were going through the Debt Reduction Act, in this last debt ceiling fiasco, I didn't hear any words in there of stopping the flow of money to Ukraine. We heard Lindsey Graham moaning and groaning about money not going into our own military. That was supposed, then I'm sure he thought, well, it's going there, then we can shove it on over to Ukraine. See, we have a lot of waste in this government when it comes to the military. We've talked about this before. 60 Minutes did a whole show on it where they found that $300 parts that you buy out here in the public, the military is spending $10,000 on that one single part. We had this during the Reagan administration too. I remember it so well because we had steering wheels selling for that you could buy for a few $100, and they were spending several thousands of dollars on a steering wheel. So we, as a country, we do not manage our money well. And the money that has been sent to Ukraine has not been managed well. And my gut feeling is that some of that money is going to flow right back over to some U.S. politicians here. Now, what we find out today through a Washington Post article is that on the Nord Stream pipeline, and that is the pipeline that supplies Europe with natural gas. On the Nord Stream pipeline, President Biden knew 3 months in advance that Ukraine was going to hurt that pipeline. They attacked that pipeline. Knowing that the European Union, who was the beneficiary of that pipeline and who had been supporting them in this war with Russia, they didn't care. They destroyed it. Knowing that it would do damage to the users on the other side in the European Union. So the Biden administration received an intelligence report that Ukraine had a plan for an attack on the Nord Stream pipelines 3 months before an underwater explosion disabled the natural gas link from Russia to Germany. The Washington Post reported that, I believe, yesterday. Now, so what did everybody do? They blamed it on Russia. Russia did this. We know Russia did it. Everybody was touting how bad Russia was. But in actuality, we found out that through European intelligence, that the CIA had told the CIA that the Ukrainian military was planning an attack using a small team of divers who reportedly directly to the commander-in-chief of the Ukrainian armed forces. I tell you, I am so amazed that we as Americans have this belief factor. Tucker Carlson talked about this on his new show on Twitter last night. But we as Americans, we just believe what we're told. Okay, so-and-so did this. Okay, we all believe it. And we never doubt. We never question. We never challenge. And the biggest part of democracy, if you want to call America a democracy, is that we have the ability to challenge these responses that the government gives out. We have that ability. As Americans, we have that ability to challenge. Now, we don't see the press doing it. No. They just sit there and the government dribbles out a response, and that's what they report. No questions asked. And so here we as an American country and as American people, our taxes are high because we're paying for wars that are not our wars to be in. We are in a war that Biden pushed onto the countries of Europe because they wanted to get back at Russia. Now, I am a strong believer in diplomacy. I love diplomacy. Have you heard the United States talking about diplomacy? Nah, nothing. China has done some diplomacy, trying to get the two countries together and start talking peace. And what does America do? They start condemning it. As soon as they start talking peace, America condemns it. Our country has changed. We used to be a leader in promoting diplomacy in talks and getting to agreements to stop wars or shooting. And in this case, the American government has participated in the killing of Russians and in the killing of many Ukrainians. And sad to say, there's been some Americans killed over there too because they became mercenaries and went over to fight. But our hands are dirty. Biden's hands are bloody. Lindsey Graham's hands are bloody. Mitch McConnell's hands are bloody. Anybody who supported this war with Ukraine, your hands are now bloody of people that should never have died because this could have been talked through. Now, can Trump go and do it in one day? No, I don't believe so. I think he can get to peace, but not in one day. So we have to kind of skip over that and begin to become serious about peace. I'm amazed that we as a country who have been so diligent in peaceful negotiations are now promoting a war in somebody else's country under the lie that this is all about Ukraine becoming free of Russia. So people have died. Innocent children have died. Moms and dads and grandfathers and grandmothers have died. Members of the armed forces have died in both countries. Just because there was a political agenda out of Washington, D.C. to promote this war and to go against Putin. Now, even with enemies, you have to negotiate. You have to sit down and talk. When was the last time we talked with Russia? I heard yesterday it's been 5 years since we have really sat down with China. China came over to Alaska at the beginning of the Russian, under Biden's first day as president. And they literally scolded Biden's diplomatic team, the Secretary of State, on how badly they have done on these world issues. And we just sat there and took it. We didn't even respond back. So we have a problem in our national security of this nation because we don't have any leadership or any plans on how to handle Russia or Ukraine or China or some of these other countries. Even Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia doesn't even want to have anything to do with this anymore because they disrespect the man who sits in the president's chair at the moment. You see, these countries respond to America only when we have somebody in that chair whom they respect. See, they truly respect individuals who hold the power to unite nations and to talk. Trump did it very well. Not a war was started when Trump was president. Not one single war. And I'm not pro-Trump, so get away with that. I'm just giving that as an example. There's been other presidents too. But we have a problem where we do not have any leadership that act responsibly in dealing with these foreign countries, our adversaries. So write your congressman, write your senator and say, get out of Ukraine as fast as possible. So that's my message today. I'm really fed up with Ukraine. I'm fed up with this whole war situation. We need to get out of it. Listen, if you have any questions, send it to thebusinessadvisor@gmail.com. And if you would like to sit down for business consultation or advisory or even coaching, go to my website at www.lodge-co.com and you can book me online. Everybody go out and have a great day. I'll talk with you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you for your grace, your amazing grace. Thank you for the way that you forgive me every day. Thank you for your grace, your amazing grace. Great is your mercy. Thank you for your